happen.
Something tells me that Pierre Gasly probably can salsa better than Carlos Sainz.
Do you think? Hey everyone, welcome to the Formation Yap, where when 5 lights go out, the hot takes come on. I'm Justin Crawford, here with my good buddies JD Underwood and Cam Cook.
I guess today we're going to talk a little bit about next year's driver lineups, at least our predictions, or what we may want to see happen. Silly season's here, it's summer break. I can't believe we haven't heard anything yet. I'm just itching. I'm checking my phone every 5 minutes.
It is shocking to me that we haven't heard some news. But when I was thinking about my lineup, at first I wanted to be the gotcha guy. And then I was like, man, I kind of do want to take this seriously. So what are you going to do for this?
Well, I'm going to take it seriously, obviously, but I don't want to come out here and say everybody's going to be the same as next year. I'm going to throw a little spice in the mix and kind of do. I guess what I'm saying is my lineup is a little more on the aggressive side, but nothing's as silly as silly season would.
What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize until I sat down and started looking at all the spots that could be available and just how much movement could happen. I think also when we were talking about in the last episode on who is the hottest commodity, where we talked about Liam Lawson, whenever I started plugging and playing on potentials of where everybody could go, it kind of seems like he may have his choice of several things. So going to be interesting to see where you guys have everybody. I do think that we'll see some new faces, more than one new face next year.
Yep.
But I think this is going to be a good episode. A lot to talk about here.
Well, let's start from the top.
I was going to say let's start from the bottom.
From the bottom?
Yeah.
Well, I
don't care. We can do whatever. If you want to take it from the top, Cam, who's driving this car next year?
Yeah, that's where I was going to start. So I really think that we don't see the shakeup this year. I think the shakeup is coming. No, I'm serious.
Boo.
I think the shakeup is coming, but I think it's coming in 2028. I'll say I think we see no changes at Mercedes for 2027. I think we still see a Kimi and George lineup. Things stay copacetic for the time being. I think there is truth to all the rumors with Max. I think Max will see some kind of shakeup in the next year or two.
Right.
But for this time period, for this point in history, I think things stay the same.
I am the opposite. I think that there's 9 drivers that's contracts are up at the end of 2026. I don't think that you're going to see 9 drivers re-sign for one more year. I think that people are going to move. Carlos Sainz contract's up at the end of this year, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to sign a 1-year deal with Williams. If Carlos signs a 1-year deal at Williams, I'll do the next podcast from behind this wall so you can't hear me talk. So what you're going to see with Mercedes, in my opinion, this year, or for next year, I think that you're going to see Kimi Antonelli there. Of course, Kimi's not going anywhere. He's there for the long haul. And I'm going to say it's going to be Max Verstappen. What about you, Justin?
I'm going to go with Cam here. I think...
Boo!
The realist.
Where you see Max is, even if you do entertain the silly season rumors of Max and Toto having talks, I believe those are long-term investments that they're talking about, and you don't see those come to fruition until 2028, like Cam just said.
Well, and
so I think Max will see you if we were talking about a 28 driver lineup. I would agree with you on Max having a Mercedes seat. I think right now everything's going to remain the same at Mercedes because, again, even if George is getting a little disheartened, he's not doing so terrible where he's just like looking for a way out right now.
With all the talk, with as unhappy as Max is, with Red Bull doing what Red Bull's doing, I don't think that Max Verstappen, McLaren's trying to court this guy. Mercedes wants him. Red Bull wants him to stay. Max Verstappen is going to do something this year, whether it's re-signing with Red Bull, whether it's moving somewhere else, that happens this year.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't think he'll sign with Red Bull, but I don't see him at Mercedes next year.
Okay, well, fair enough. Keep your secrets, buddy. We'll get to it.
All right, so Ferrari. Where do we see Ferrari moving next year?
Ferrari is already set in stone. Shaw signed with them till 2082 or something.
Till Christ comes back.
Yeah, Shaw's going to be there. He sacrificed his career to drive the red car. His best years are going to wither away at the second best team forever. That's where he's at. I'm just kidding. I love Ferrari, but Lewis Hamilton also re-signed, so I think we can move past Ferrari. Well,
yeah, I'm with you on that one. McLaren.
So, McLaren. I have, of course, Lando Norris. He's going to be there. Yep, repping the boys today.
This guy decided to go full McLaren homer.
Lando won one race, and I'm just on the bandwagon.
What?
He's
traitor.
He's a closet Lando fan. If you watch the former episodes that we've had, he does talk about Lando a lot. He just likes to hide it.
Grande Kimi, okay? I'm going to rep Kimi forever. But Lando Norris is a great driver. He's a world champion.
He's got a thing for short guys.
You can't argue the fact that Lando Norris is a talent. I mean, he won a championship last year, and of course, I'm going to give him his flowers. And that's why I think Zach Brown knows that as well.
He would happily take those flowers from you.
He's still gonna be driving the orange car next year, but it won't be.
He likes poppies, by the way.
Can we talk about F1 now? I think driving the other orange car is going to be George Russell, not Oscar Piastri.
Okay, all right.
And I think that, and when we talk about Max, I think George Russell is the guy that's going to start silly season. Mm-hmm. All the rumors of, is he going to be at Mercedes next year? Is Max going to take his seat? Is anybody going to take his seat? I think George is going to be proactive. He sees the writing on the wall, and I think he's going to be the one that signs first. He will be the first domino that falls in silly season. And all this talk about Max Verstappen, the diva George is going to step into the limelight and say, what about me?
Man, I think can you imagine a situation where you have the two biggest divas on the grid in the same team, the drama that could ensue from that?
Gucci's going to be shaking their fist because they're like, that's the team we should have sponsored.
Missed opportunity. Yeah, as far as McLaren, honestly, I think you have a great point, and I don't see that not coming to fruition. Hearing those points, I'll still stick with my theory. I think you actually this year, if Max is not having talked with Toto Wolff, right? If all of that is silly season rumors like it has been in the past, where every year we hear the same thing as far as Toto talking to Max, right? And just nothing ever comes out of it.
Well, you have to remember as well, Max Verstappen runs Mercedes in his GT63 in his GT team. Mm-hmm. So Toto Wolff is in charge of all Mercedes AMG racing. Like that's
they are
business partners already.
And so if you take that and you're like, okay, that is what it is. It's not anything more or less, right? Max Verstappen is a businessman. And the reason I say that he's not gonna, and the reason I'm saying Max Verstappen is I think you see him in McLaren next year, maybe doing a seat swap with Piastri. But I think as a businessman, you make your moves in silence, right? If he was here to shut the rumors down that he was staying, I think that would have already been done. Like, all right. Shut your mouths, I'm staying. I think he is obviously making a move, which is why he's staying so silent. The only way two men can keep a secret is if one of them's dead. So
I actually have things staying copacetic at McLaren as well. I think that move is inevitable. I do think that Oscar has the most to gain from a move, but it's just not right now. I think we see it. I think we also see it in 2028. Since you already brought up Max, I guess we go straight to Red Bull.
Yeah.
What happens at Red Bull?
I think
this is going to be a 10-minute conversation. I can see this already.
This is just my hope. Again, like I said, I'm being a little aggressive with these picks, but I think that you see Isaac stays. Isaac's going to be there again. I think he's done enough to keep his seat. But I think Oscar Piastri is driving the other Red Bull car.
And I wouldn't hate it.
No, I would love to see Oscar at Red Bull. I mean, it's a new team. There's so many new faces at Red Bull. Max Verstappen, he's really the last of the old guard, so to speak. Everybody else has already jumped ship. GP's gone.
That would be a young program overall if the oldest guy on the team is Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, driver. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of young teams these days. I mean, look at Racing Bulls and. I mean,
well, that's what I was getting at.
Right.
The Red Bull clan as a whole.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fair. But yeah, I see Oscar and Isaac running for Red Bull next year.
I agree. I'm like I just said. I think you saw the seat swap with Max and Oscar Piastri. Hadjar has definitely proven himself. I think he's only going to get better. Red Bull has proven that not only will they fast track you if you're good, they're going to keep you if they continue to have the faith in you. So, yeah, I agree with you there.
I have things staying the same for this season at Red Bull. I think Max not resigns. I think he continues his contract through 2027 with the goal of potentially making a move to Mercedes in 2028. I see Isaac supporting Max as much as he possibly can for one more season. And I do. I think the Max move is inevitable. As much as I hate it, I would love to see him retire in the blue, red, and yellow. I think it would be awesome, but it's just not realistic with the GP moves and with Hannah moving. They're breaking up the team. Unfortunately, the band is not getting back together. It's just a matter of time. I just don't see it happening this year.
Well, let me shake things up just real quick to give somebody or everybody something to argue about, right? As far as Max goes, he has been in talks with NASCAR.
Yeah, right.
What if he took a year off? Now, I'm not saying that I believe it'll happen. What if he took a year off to get the 2028 seat on Mercedes, race his NASCAR debut, and then come back?
No, the NASCAR talks, if he races NASCAR, it's going to be a Watkins Glen or a Coda. It's not going to be a full season. And the thing is, the talks, I saw what you were talking about, the team he's going to race for is the Red Bull NASCAR team.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a thing behind closed doors, like you're saying. What do we do to keep Max happy? You want to go run a NASCAR race? And that is another thing that, the wild card of Max Verstappen that might keep him at Red Bull is he has so much freedom to do what he wants when it comes to other racing series. He's always playing around the GT3 teams. He doesn't do the media that he would, they would demand of him at McLaren.
That's right.
Like,
and McLaren and Mercedes even duplicate the freedom and lack of responsibility that he has at Red Bull.
He's got it made, like, as far as on a personal level. Now, he also has 4 driver championships, and he is Max Verstappen. So I do feel like some teams, if they want him, they're going to cater to his needs and his wants. But
he can have his cake and eat it too.
Well, yeah, but also, like, you say the Red Bulls and just as many extreme sports as they're involved with, all motorsports, etc. If he goes to say an Aston Martin, they're not involved in everything, so they don't have the ability to even give him those opportunities.
Let's go from Red Bull. Let's go to VCarb. Where do you see VCarb shaking out?
As far as VCarb goes, I think you see Lindblad stay. He's done very well this year. He is a rookie. I think you're going to see a lot of potential out of him. I know that it's caused a lot of back and forth in the past, but I think that if Liam Lawson doesn't stay, and I don't think he will because he has other opportunities he could look at to progress his career, I think you see Solov step in there, okay? I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm saying that is my most probable outcome if Liam Lawson chooses to leave.
If he chooses to leave, not gets pushed out.
Well, look, I think
I like that tone better. I think that sounds better for Liam.
I say chooses, right? And the reason I say chooses is because what you heard me say in the last episode and episodes before, where he's kind of been given the shaft by Red Bull, okay? And so at what point is he going to allow that to continue to happen versus what you were saying, seeing the writing on the wall, like what we talked about with George, seeing the writing on the wall and making his own decisions for his future?
Go ahead.
Everybody, my picks have been so crazy. You're like, everything's going to stay the same. I know y'all both think Liam leaves, so I'm going to be devil's advocate again. I think everything at VCarb stays the same. I think there's no movement. If Liam does move, it will be Solov. So it's those 3 drivers will be at VCarb. If Liam leaves, it'll be Solov, but Arvid's there. He's doing well enough. They're not going to let him leave after 1 year, and nobody's really looking for an Arvid Lindblad, I don't think, right now at this time.
Not yet.
But I think VCarb is just chill.
You are going to be shocked by this, but I think you're right. I think Liam has proved enough at this point that Red Bull does not want to lose Liam Lawson. I think they would be foolish to let Liam Lawson walk at this point. He's shocked me. We did not like Liam Lawson last year. We were making fun of Liam Lawson. A little
arrogant,
last year. Yeah, like cocky little guy, right? But no, I think Liam has changed my whole perspective on him as an F1 driver in the first half of this season. I think Liam has earned his place in this sport, and I think the world's his oyster at this point. However, I think he stays at VCarb because they've realized finally, like, this dude's actually kind of for real. Do I see him making a move? Absolutely. I think the VCarb long-term opportunity is Solov's to lose, Solov's to gain, depending on how you look at it. But for now, I think Liam stays because Liam is too valuable of an asset at VCarb.
Well, if you're the hottest commodity or one of the hottest commodities in F1, and you are in the junior team there, right? And you have opportunities, and I'm only going to say this because of we've already passed up Red Bull, and his name was not mentioned in that seat, right? If you want me so bad, why are you going to other teams to find the talent, right? Why not put me up,
Good
right?
point.
And I think that's where you see him make that choice to say, cool, you had your opportunities. You passed me up for Sonoda. You passed me up for
Isaac.
For Isaac. You're going to pass me up for Oscar. Okay, cool. I'm leaving.
Well,
right?
And I'll say this, your junior program, just to mention that, you're right. That's what the junior programs are there for. But it's one of those things where, you know, you don't cut it, somebody gets let go, and then the next man up. But it's not all the time you have a talent like an Oscar Piastri, a Max Verstappen, a George Russell that's looking for somewhere to go. So you do make room, you know, so to speak, for a guy like that. And that's not going to happen every year. The junior program is a program that has, you know, its structure and it works as it should, but you know, there's always going to be the asterisks of, you know, Lewis Hamilton's available at Ferrari and you fire a Carlos Sainz. You know, those things happen in the sport.
But look at the seats that are potentially available at other midfield teams like Audi and Alpine, right? Where we've already talked about, hey, they are going to be very competitive next year. Very probable potential spots for him if he wanted to go
Alpine's
there.
not going to be competitive. They're just going to look cool. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, but still, there are other teams that are in that midfield setting right now that you have the potential to boost their results.
And we forget that these guys are ultimately humans like us. We are fans, but I have to say, if I was in his position, I would be looking for the opportunity to be the guy.
Yeah.
And right now, he's not the guy at the Red Bull, in the Red Bull program. He's the guy, he's the third guy, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think you're right. I do see him making a move, if not to be promoted to Red Bull. I do see him making a move to an Alpine or an Audi in 2028 because he wants to be the guy.
Yeah.
I think it's a little premature for Liam at this very point.
I think Alpine would be foolish. But yeah, go ahead.
No, that was it. That was it.
I think moving to an Audi or an Aston Martin, if you're in the midfield right now and you're looking to advance yourself, especially driving for VCarb, you're going to want to go to Aston Martin or Audi.
Sure.
Everything else is never going to. It's not going to be. It's a lateral move regardless.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And speaking of Alpine,
yes.
Moving on, I think that Franco and Pierre are both there. I love Pierre, and I want him to escape these midfielders. I just don't think that it's going to be if there's a shakeup. I would love his name to be in the mix. I mean, like we spoke last time, since 2021, the dude's been on podium every year in an Alpine. But I still don't think that it's enough for him to get the look at a Red Bull or a McLaren. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to. If Pierre Gasly ran for McLaren, I might actually be a McLaren fan. But I just think that those are pipe dreams at this point.
You and me both, buddy.
I think Alpine's lineup stays the same. The Gucci Alpine, the greatest thing that's ever going to happen to Pierre is he's going to get a whole bunch of new suits.
Yeah,
and luxury handbags.
Right. Yeah.
As far as Alpine, I do agree with you. I believe that Pierre stays there for right now. Colapinto, if he doesn't shake out, I think maybe what you'll see them reach into the F2 pocket and grab Gabriel Mini. I think there's
from their underling team.
Correct. And the reason I say that
program.
Oh, I just like
the underling.
I like calling them underlings. I'm just being honest.
Yeah. So
they're not there yet, guys.
There's that potential there. I think. I don't know which way I would go right now. I think Colapinto is. It's his seat to lose.
Right.
I think Pierre stays. He's got that long-term contract that he can continue to feed off of.
28.
At least.
more
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I think we see a shakeup at Alpine Because old boy just has to put a
Flavio?
bigger name. Our boy Flavio has to put a bigger name in that Gucci outfit.
I mean, it might be Gucci. That might be one of the deals. Is you got to get somebody to run this car that sells tickets.
So who is it? I think it's Checo Sergio Perez.
Checo to Alpine.
I do.
I don't hate it. I really don't.
I think Checo sees this as an opportunity to make a little bit more money, to ride in a cool looking car, and retire in a year or two from the sport.
See, I don't think that. I think Checo wants to race. I think he's in the Cadillac and he's hungry again. So I think, in just this scenario you're speaking of, I think staying in Cadillac, again, like we said, long-term future investments.
Sure.
The Cadillac would be the right car because it might win a world championship in 5 years if they invest correctly. But then again, flip side of that is he was hired as a development driver. By the time they're good, no matter how much work he's put into, they say, thanks, bud. We got this kid, coming up through the junior ranks. He's the next big thing. He's going to drive for us and see you later. That's always potential too. So maybe you're right. Maybe Checo moves to an Alpine.
I think it's a cool opportunity, not necessarily the best opportunity, but a timing.
He's on his retirement tour, and you think this is like Valtteri Bottas at Cadillac, just having a good time with it. Okay, fair enough.
I do think he's a serious driver. Don't take nothing away from Checo. I think this would just be a cool timing move. But moving on, Audi. Let's go to Audi. Wearing the engineer shirt over here.
Yeah. So I think I'm also a huge Carlos Sainz fan. I think he makes that move. I think we'll see next year in the Audi seat, Nico Hülkenberg is going to move on out. Unfortunately, I think he's just he's done his time there. Sainz is going to move in. I think you see Bortoleto probably stay, most likely, right? But I also think that it's one of those seats where there's potential for Liam Lawson. I think that Bortoleto would probably have obviously since he has a seat, he would probably have the upper hand on it.
That would be interesting to see a 2-seat shakeup at Audi.
They're new. If anybody's going to clean house and get brand new drivers, it's going to be Flavio. That's just so on brand for him. Audi, I think that you're going to see Carlos go to Audi. I do. I think Gabby stays. Again, Hulk, I think, is on his way out, and I think that Carlos makes the move he should have made 2 years ago.
And the interesting thing is, Carlos had the opportunity to sign with Audi. So part of me is wondering, is it sour grapes at this point?
Well, and here's what I was getting at. So Carlos had the opportunity to sign with Audi. He chose Williams. His dad was actually very upset with him whenever he chose Williams over.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, his dad didn't love the move going to Williams. And I think at this point, Audi's, the last year as the Sauber, they were, towards the end of the year, they were pathetic. They'd look terrible. Williams, Carlos did well. This year, Audi is on its ups. Williams is on its downs. And I think that Carlos can look at this, step back in retrospect, say, okay, I had 2 years. I did well with Williams, and I'm glad I wasn't driving the Sauber. Second year, Audi's not winning a world championship, and Williams looks worse. So at this point, you if you would have signed with Audi, you would have had a bad year last year, looked better this year. You can wash these 2 years. Fair. And then start scratch next year, start fresh. And I think that's what he's going to do. He's looking, these last 2 years, it really would have been what and what, whether I signed with Audi, stayed at Williams, just because of how the two teams have done over the last 2 years. But moving forward, Audi and that's you can tell by what I've been saying. I'm an Audi fanboy at this point. I think they have so much potential, and they can really be a contender because you have your big four, and who's going to be the fifth? And right now, there's no potential. VCarb, come on, man. But Audi and Aston Martin have that potential. They're the only two that can do it, in my opinion. Cadillac in 5 years, yes, I do believe they could contend. But right now, look at it, man. And development takes time in F1. So, being said, I think that Audi is the team that you're going to see Carlos Sainz for his potential. He's going to look at it and say, I can actually be finishing in the top 5 again consistently in 2 or 3 years if I sign with Audi. James Vowles said that he was going to do that at Williams, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and that would also be on par for the legacy of Carlos Sainz of coming into a team and boosting their results. Obviously they're already on the way up, but to sign a Carlos Sainz, and it would, again, like I said, it would be on par for his legacy.
Well, and he's he has shown throughout his career that he is not afraid to make a move. And
He drove for everybody.
yeah, I mean, literally half the teams on the grid, he's sat in their seat at least once. So no, I'm with you guys. I think Carlos does make the move. The sour grapes are thrown out the window, and he just, agrees that, hey, I probably made the wrong mistake, and Audi's more than happy to wrestle him in. Gabby probably keeps his seat as well. But on to our boys at Aston Martin. What happens at Aston Martin?
I think everything stays the same. I think Nando signs. I think once that Honda motor comes, they've already showed so much additional potential. Yeah, additional potential. I just mixed two words together. They have so much of potential now that's with this car. I think that's going to be enough. Nando has already said they've come to terms. He just wants to see how the motor performs before he puts his name next to it. But like we did last time, we talked about the hottest commodity, and we said it was Liam Lawson, or y'all said it was Liam Lawson. I would say that the Aston Martin and the Audi seats are the hottest commodity when it comes to where any driver would want to go. Liam's going to want to go to those two teams. That being said, something like that. But I don't think that seat at Aston Martin is going to become available this year. I think Nando stays. I think he's going to be there for a couple more years. At least get this car right, and he's not going to go out on these terms of finishing dead last. That's not. If Fernando doesn't sign and he wins the first race with the Honda car, then he might retire and say, "See, I'm still great. Now I can quit." But until then, he's not gonna hang it up until he's at least back in a respectable position. And I think that he's still hungry, and I think he's still going to race a few more years.
And for whatever reason, you think Lance Stroll is going to stay as well?
I don't think Lance Stroll can leave. I think Lance Stroll is just stuck.
Dad's like, get out of bed, Lance. We got a race to win.
Hey, I spent so much money. It's that kid that you forced to play baseball when he was a kid.
Exactly.
I don't want to go to practice.
Dad, why do we have to play again?
Yeah, no, Lance Stroll is just going to be miserable in an Audi, in an Aston Martin for as long as possible. And could you imagine if the Lawrence fired his own son? It'd never happen.
Yeah,
that's why he bought the team, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, and Lance, he had potential a few years ago. I just think now he just doesn't care. But regardless of whether he cares or not, he's going to be driving for his dad.
Yeah, I didn't mean to deep dive on that. I was just being facetious.
Cut that.
No, I think maybe we see the Honda motor give them some extra potential, and Lance does get a little better, or at least gets a little bit more fire under his behind. For the team, I do hope that he's competitive, and I think all things stay the same at Aston Martin. I think Fernando waits a couple more years to hang it up, assuming that things do get better next season. The guy does not want to go out finishing 18th to 22nd. Let's be real. He's got too much of a legacy to uphold.
He finished 14th last week, dude. He was already on the ups.
Oh,
the comeback tour has officially started.
All right, so let's move on to the Haas team. Justin, what happens with Haas?
Oliver Behrman will stay there. I have no doubt about that. Ocon, I think I think you'll see him shake out. I think that'll be one of the faces that you don't see in F1 next year. And potentially they'll go to somebody like, I'm going to butcher this name, but Leonardo Fornaroli. However, I also think that if that's not the case at Haas, maybe, and if you don't see the seat swap at, like I said, between Max and Piastri, maybe they bump him from McLaren bumps him from the reserve driver to that seat. Maybe. I don't see that's a reality. I think you'll probably see him in the Haas seat.
I also have Fornaroli and Ollie at Haas.
Hey, it's very possible. I'm going to play the devil's advocate and say that Haas doesn't have the prestige or the financing to get Fornaroli on board.
Wow. You think the guy that hasn't been racing all year is just going to say, I'm too good for you?
Yes.
And I'm going to sit and wait for Oscar or Lando to start something?
No.
Okay. No. All right.
But I think Fornaroli gets a better opportunity. Thus, all things stay copacetic at Haas for the time being. Unfortunately for them, Ollie, for those that don't know, Ollie is essentially a member of Ferrari's development program. And so he re-signed to that development program to essentially keep the door open for him to be at Ferrari within the next 2 to 3 years.
Lewis's replacement.
Depending on what happens
That's always
with Lewis.
been the trajectory for Ollie Behrman as Lewis's replacement.
And I do think it's inevitable. It's just a timing thing. But for right now, obviously, with Lewis re-signing and feeling really good about himself, that's not right now. So I think that unfortunately for Haas, they're between a rock and a hard place and have to re-sign Ocon because they just don't have a better option.
Well, as far as like Fornaroli goes, again, he's not racing this year, so he's not getting the look that he probably needs or deserves. I think honestly, what a perfect opportunity to create your own path, to say, hey, look at me. I am in a car. May not be where I want to be right now, but this is a stepping stone for me.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to get the driving time. I think it opens more opportunities for him, for other people to be like, hey, look at this kid, right?
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think what Cam's saying, I don't think you have the right to say I'm too good for you, because just the way it played out with him winning F2, he's a great driver, but you have to be seen to be relevant.
That's right.
And being out of the sport for a year, you don't drive for 2-3 years, I don't think you ever get a chance.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There's too much talent out there. There's too many moving parts in F1. Drivers making moves all the time. I just don't think that you ever stay dormant that long. And I see the way you're looking at me. You're not saying he stays dormant. So, Cam, who does Fornaroli race for next year?
I was literally about to just say, hold your horses, my dudes. I think Fornaroli signs with the Williams team.
Haas is too broke, but Williams can afford it.
Yes.
Hot take. Okay.
Yes. I think Val's plays the businessman, salesman one more time, gets the Fornaroli signing to replace his outgoing former number one driver, Carlos Sainz. And like you just said, any seat in F1 is better than no seat in F1.
Right.
And I think in a bidding war, Williams just outbids Haas. And so Alex stays at Haas, and then they sign Fornaroli.
You don't think a good manager gets in Fornaroli's ear and says, hey, I hear the promises, and they sound great, but we've heard them before.
Don't listen to James Val.
Like,
James Val's the snake oil salesman.
Who do you have at Williams next
at
year?
Williams, honestly, I left a seat open for that because you'll see Albin there. Again, I don't see Albin going anywhere. Obviously, Sainz is not going to stay. There's not a shot in my mind where he stays. But I've left a seat open for opportunity there. I don't really know where you'll see that shake out for them. So to your point, I wouldn't say it's so far out of the realm of possibility, but I just hate to see him go to Williams. And
That's a fair point.
So yeah.
So you're just going to leave it open?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it open. I'm just going to leave it open.
No one is good enough.
Maybe if James Voles trusts his team that much, he'll hop in the seat.
The black silhouette, like an unlocked character. We haven't unlocked the Williams driver next year. I think next year at Williams we're going to see Alex Albon stay, of course. And for the coveted unlocked seat, it's probably going to be Jack Sparrow to drive that tugboat.
Sparrow.
I think it'll probably be Checo Perez. I think Checo moves to Williams. I think he's going to move on from Cadillac and go to Williams because, again, it's kind of the same role he has at Cadillac, being a developmental driver. But the Williams has the potential to be a contender if James Vowles can make true his promises. But I think, again, when it comes down to money, I think that they're gonna. I think Cadillac's gonna make some moves, and I think that Checo is going to advance himself back to a Williams. I think that the seat opens up and Carlos is there, and they just give him, a better deal than he's got at Cadillac, but also, somewhere he can go and be, a number one driver, so to speak, or at least compete with Alex for it. Whereas Cadillac, he's just there to get data. I think Williams can compete if the upgrades come next year. Everything they've said this year just come out to be untrue. But if they do have a competitive car, you still have to remember in the last year they were very competitive. Carlos was on podium twice in the last few races. So there is that hope, that pipe dream that, you know, maybe Checo can sell himself on, that we can do this. The same thing that Carlos sold himself on. So I think that you see Checo.
As long as JV makes that promise, I'll hold my breath.
Yeah, well, dude, come on, man. He's a James Vowles hater, isn't he?
Look, I've kind of lost all hope for him. Where are we going to next? Cadillac?
The only one left, yes.
That's right.
Sweet.
That's
right.
Right.
Obviously. I think where I'm going to go is what you just said as far as Checo being the developmental driver. I don't think he moves so soon. I think what you do is you see Rafael Kamara step in there and utilize him as continued developmental driver. To go to Williams to continue to be a developmental driver, I mean, unless they're going to throw a ridiculous amount of money, I don't know that it really makes sense for him to make that move whenever you could stay where you're at, don't have to do this so much shakeup, and you can, mentor a junior driver there. So I think those are the two seats you'll see at Cadillac next year.
I didn't mean to be unclear. I didn't mean that Checo would go to Williams to be a developmental driver. I'm saying that if in a perfect world for James Vowles' promises come true, he's not a developmental driver anymore.
Right.
But worst case scenario, he is a developmental driver trying to get that Williams where it needs to be. You know, right now he is a developmental driver, and that's all he is at Cadillac. Cadillac's not going to be good for 3 or 4 years. They've made strides, but let's be realistic here. But at Williams, if the stars align, there is a chance of being competitive, is what I was getting at. For me at Cadillac, I kind of agree. I think Valtteri's going to stay. I think Valtteri's going to continue. He's living his best life right now. He doesn't want to be competitive. His fire died out a long time ago when he was running defense for Lewis Hamilton on his 3rd, 4th, 5th championship, right? Valtteri's just enjoying his time in the sport, and I think Rafael Kamara steps in, and I think that that's going to be Cadillac's future, and they're going to get him in the seat, get him some time, so by the time they do have a car, he's got some seat time under his belt, and we're good to go. What do you think?
Interestingly enough, I think this might be the only team that we have all the same result. I also have Valtteri and Kamara. I think that, and the only reason why I didn't put Kamara in the Haas seat was because of also the same reason of Cadillac having more potential per se, Cadillac having more financing, a better contract, etc. So yeah, I see my boy Valtteri Bottas staying put and continuing to help them develop. He's enjoying himself. I think if anyone can embrace the American dream, it is Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah.
So I think he stays, and I think that they take a chance on Kamara. And man, we'll see if they continue to use that Ferrari motor. We know the Ferrari motor can be competitive. They just got to get their chassis, their suspension, and their brakes in order.
And they're developing the car. They're coming along. 2029. They're going to bring their own motor package.
Did you want to talk specifically about Cadillac?
Well, I was just a little surprised that we had the same driver lineup, because I thought for sure you were going to say your American boy Colton Herta was going to take the seat.
No,
he's just not progressing as he should.
Yeah,
I agree. I thought about him for a minute, but he's struggling in F2 right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can talk about Cadillac. I think that their trajectory is strong. It looks great compared to, I mean, obviously a brand new team, right? I think that 2029 they bring their own motor. I think that what they've done so far this year, if they can get that reliability issue down, get the suspension to quit braking and the brakes to quit braking, I think that
brakes to quit braking.
Right. I think they just need to make some more potential big hires. They've already got a good team, it seems, from scratch to where they are now, already being at least on pace with the lower tier teams. They're not just the absolute worst. Well, now that Aston's got some upgrades, maybe they are. But still, that's what you expect, man. But the fact that they've done what they have so far, I think they look good. I think next year, if they can get this reliability issue down, I think as soon as next year, they could have goals of trying to be in the top 8 in the constructors. I don't think that's unrealistic. What about y'all? Do y'all think that the top 8 next year in constructors is a stretch, or what?
I don't think it's a stretch. I think the first point that if Cadillac wants to continue to be competitive, the first point that they need to make for 2027 is to re-sign Checo, personally. He's proven that he does have the fire, like you said, that he is not ready to just hang it up, that he wants to prove that he's still there. So I think that's their first move, is they've got to figure out how to re-sign him. And then secondly, I mean, just being realistic, they got to get some more sponsorship. They got to get some more names on that shirt. I mean, I'm looking around. I've got Tommy Hilfiger and Pirelli.
Yeah,
like, let's be real.
It's a white T-shirt for sure.
It's a cool looking white T-shirt. So they need some more sponsorships. They need a new influx of money and fanship and everything that goes with this along with the sport. They're just so new. You know, they've got so much that they have to work on between now and next year. And like we've said, I think that they're pretty much shutting down, other than trying to fix the brakes, they're pretty much shutting down the production of the car for this year, and then they're focusing on next year. So the sky is the limit long term for Cadillac. They've got plenty of money within their entire organization, and all we can really do is hope for the best at this point.
Yeah, I agree, and I have high hopes for the American boys. Haas just can't afford it, but we got to have some representation out there.
Yeah, I think there's so much. I mean, as far as Cadillac goes and where their future is, this could be something that we talk about all day. Just as far as the potential goes, I think. But on y'all's points, I agree with everything you guys are saying. What I do hope that they need to, or that they do accomplish, is that the way they came into F1 being so new. And then immediately we're going to start progressing back into newer engines, right? Getting away year by year, getting away from that. So they came into one thing, and year by year you're changing. As long as they can keep up with the changes every year, I think they'll be in good hands.
Like Allstate. Well, anyway, I think that's it for today. I think that's our driver lineups. I think it was fun. I think, for the most part, I'd say a solid 70% we agree on things. I thought my shakeups were going to be a little bit more extreme than they were. But I guess we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully by the time we go back racing, some of these questions we have will be answered.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, we should, if there's going to be any kind of real changes, we'll probably know here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I would assume.
Right.
But yeah, here's to hoping we see some fun shakeups, and it'll give us something else to talk about, you know?
Absolutely. So, guys, don't forget, if you have anything to say, if you disagree, agree with our what we have predicted, leave it in the comments, like, subscribe, and until then, we'll see you next time.